Hey everyone, thanks for watching. You're watching Back to Nature. This is Dan the Glassman here, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the Bees and Seeds Festival coming up. That's in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Saturday, May 20th, from 1 to 9 p.m. We're gonna have a bunch of music and a lot of free seed giveaways, teaching you how to grow plants, how to upcycle, recycle, how to do container gardening, and all kinds of things. So Back to Nature is going to be out there at the Bees and Seeds Festival, and we're going to be set up with a workshop on how to do the water bottle systems here, which is a self-watering system. Basically, we've explained it in many of our videos before. Please go back to those and check them out. It's very simple. You just cut the top of your bottle off the bottom here. It's almost in half, more like 3/4 of the way up, 2/3 of the way up. And you put a hole through the cap here, and you put a string, a wick, some type of absorbent material that will allow the water to pull up or wick up into the string, and you want it to go about an inch above that cap line, so that way it pulls it up into the soil. You fill the cap here, the top of the bottle, with soil, and then you put a seed, and then within about 10 days, usually most seeds will germinate within that time, and then you'll have a plant growing. You allow this plant, this is a tomato seed, which we grew from a slice of a tomato, and so from the slice of a tomato, we were able to get many little seedlings, and then we had a bunch of seedlings, and we put each one into here. So we transplanted each seedling into an individual bottle, and then when the roots start to show, which right here, this one's not ready yet at all, but when the roots start to show on the bottom, then that's when we know that it's ready to be transplanted from this system here to a larger system. So now we have a bigger system here. We use 2-gallon bottles, and as you can see, it's a bigger area, more soil. So then we put the little plant into a bigger plant, or planter, sorry. And we put that into a 2-liter system. Basically, it's the same build. It's got a wick and everything. And this one here, I believe that maybe we should have had it a little bit deeper. We can also use 2 bottles, where you just cut the top off of one and then use the entire 2-liter bottle for the planting, and then you have a deeper area for the roots and everything. Because as you can see, the roots have already come out, and they've gone through into the wick, and basically they've reached their way into the water there, and this plant looks really stringy. It's not getting a lot of the nutrients anymore because the water has no nutrients. So what we're going to do is we're going to transplant this into a large Dutch bucket system. This is also a self-watering system. What it is that it's a 3-gallon bucket inside of a 5-gallon bucket. The 3-gallon bucket has a bunch of holes drilled down in the bottom, and then a larger hole on the side for the PVC pipe. That's where you water it. You put your water hose there, and you water it. When it's overfilling, it'll come out the hole. Basically, from the top here to here is where your 3-gallon bucket sits inside. So that's where all your soil is. You don't want your water to come up above your soil and then oversaturate your soil, and then you'll get root rot. So you have your overflow or overfill, and it'll never allow the water to reach up to the top there. What we are doing now, this is an experiment, because before we would basically cut at the very bottom of this, we'd cut a big hole in the center of the plastic bucket for a solo cup, like a plastic drinking cup, a water cup, a beer cup. You know, they use them for beer pong. But those red solo cups, you slice a couple slices down the sides. I normally do 3. You fill that, pack it with soil, and that's your wick. And you sit that cup with all the packed soil into the bottom of the 5 or the 3-gallon, and it will then hang basically from, like, you know, where the bottom of the 3-gallon bucket is. Then you'll have a cup hanging there that's sitting in the water, and that's your wick. And then you put your soil on top of there. This time what we did is we put 3 strings. Basically, as I said, we just drilled some holes in the bottom of the 3-gallon here before the soil was in here, and we put some holes on the bottom, and then we just put some rope on 3 spots there. So now it's wicking up in 3 different areas underneath here. And as you can see, it looks dry on top, but when you start digging in to the bottom, you can see that it's moist. And so what we're going to do is we're going to transplant our 2-liter bottle here, and we're going to basically just put that plant directly into this system here, and hopefully the wicks are going to be pulling enough of the moisture up. We haven't really been able to test this out entirely because we did get some rain and I left it outside. I should have left it in the garage where it was covered and away from any other outside moisture. That way we could see if the wick was working properly or not. So I'm going to try to do this one-handedly. I'm going to put the camera down real quick. Here, we'll lean it up against this plant. We'll just put this here, and let's try to get this to where you can see what I'm doing here. So basically, I'm going to take this out. In order to do so, I'm going to stabilize this because it wants to just fall over, as you can see. So I'm going to grab this in the center, and I'm going to take the cap off. Being that it's got roots coming through, this is going to be really hard to try to get the roots to come through with the wick and without ripping it all. So be as gentle as you possibly can. If you can get that whole root system, that would be great. If not, there's plenty roots in there, but these are the roots that have tapped in, and you really don't want to lose them. So take care as best as you can to save as many of these roots as you can here. So I'll just try to pull it out. All right, I think we got most of them here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push our thumb up into here so we can loosen it from the cap there because of the weight and everything. And we're going to flip it over, and it's going to just slide right out. And there you have it. And then you can see that the wick here, it's got all these roots and everything. So we're going to just try to separate that without losing the roots if we can. We may have just lost some. Let's see if we can get this out without ripping in them entirely. But there's plenty of roots still in that system there, as you can see. Alright, and then we'll just kind of break it up, loosen it up a little bit, and we're going to put it directly into the system here. I'm going to rinse my hands in the water, and I'm going to grab the camera. Try not to ruin my camera here. And that way I can show you when I flip this over how this works. Okay, so now we have this dug out, and we have the root ball and the plant. It's like a topsy-turvy, which is cool. Topsy-turvies are cool, except the water drains down instead of going to the roots, and they go to the leaf. I don't know if I really like those systems. You also need to figure out a way to have a drip system dripping from the above into the topsy-turvy constantly because they dry out. But here we go. We're going to just flip this over. I'm going to kind of use the edge there to help me. And just flip it real quick. And we'll just kind of spread that out, allow the roots to take over some. And then I'm going to bring this soil over, and we're going to allow this soil here to help stand this up. And also, you know, most tomatoes, they like to be in the tomato cages. And this would be a really good time now to put a tomato cage on here, and it would just grow directly inside of there, and that way, you know, it doesn't get too large, and then when you try to put the cage on there, it'll just get all funky. But there you have it. That's how you do a Dutch bucket transplant from a 2-liter system, and it's basically just starting, you know, from your smaller plant. And then you just you add soil into here. So we'll get another wick in here. I didn't like that wicking material, actually. It didn't absorb as much as I wanted it to. So we'll keep this bottle though. The bottle is perfect, but the wick we'll change the wick out. And let's see if I can also show you how the watering system works. We'll just see if we can top this off. Being that it rained, I'm sure it's right at the top. I don't think it's going to take too much water, so we'll just let's see if it works for us. So we'll fill this up. And it's been like a couple days since the rain, so. And also yeah, it's not going to overflow, but there is water in there. And so basically you fill it in there. I poured all that water in there, and it holds water in here. There's plenty of water. I wish that there was like a clear bucket, which I know we can buy the clear buckets, and then I'll be able to just put a piece of tape there, and then we'll paint the whole outsides of them, and then they'll look really nice, and we'll have a window to actually see where the water level is. There's also a way where you can put a cork on a stick, and you can put it into your tube with the cork on the bottom, and the cork will float. And so when it's empty, you put the cork all the way to the bottom, and you mark it with red. And then you fill it up, and when the water starts flowing out the side, you'll see that the stick will rise because the cork is in the bottom of the tube. And when it rises to that level there, then you just paint a little green mark, bink, right there. And then you know that is full. And then you can lift your stick up a little bit more and then put a little red mark there to know that don't go past that green line. So if you ever are watering indoor and you have a hole there, I recommend not putting a hole if you're going to do these indoor, so you never have the opportunity of accidental overflows. But you do want to watch your water level, so the stick with the cork is a great solution for that. But there you have it. Thanks for watching. Please come on out to the Bees and Seeds Festival, and I'll teach you guys how to make these Dutch bucket systems. They're really simple. If you want to get one, just get with me. And they're not that much, you know, just $25, and I'll build you a system. And for $30, I'll even add the soil, and I'll add a plant in there for you. If you'd like this one, hit me up. I'll let it go for 30 bucks right now. Thanks for watching. This is Back to Nature. I'm Dan the Glass Man, and please be sure to subscribe and like our video here. Thanks for watching.